It is 10 minutes past 8 and you're watching Breakfast. The BBC's learned that a leading drug used to treat stroke is being reviewed following concerns that it could do more harm than good.
A number of experts claim the benefits of the clot-busting drug called Alteplase have been overstated and that it can potentially cause an increased risk of bleeding in the brain.
Other doctors are standing by the treatment, which they believe offers a lifeline to patients. Our health correspondent Adam Brimelow assesses the evidence.
Arthur Simpson was lively and active, a proud great-grandfather, a family man. Last year, he suffered a stroke. He was taken to hospital and, after a series of tests, staff suggested clot-busting medication using a drug called Alteplase. His family agreed, but his condition quickly deteriorated and he died soon afterwards. His daughter says she'll never know whether Alteplase was to blame.
I just would like maybe it to be explained a little bit more to people who are put into our situation, because I would hate someone to take or feel like they're to blame.
Each year in the UK there are more than 150,000 strokes. About 85 out of every 100 are caused by a blockage of blood to the brain. These can potentially be treated with a clotbuster. But it has to be done quickly and not everyone's suitable. About 15 in every 100 people admitted to hospital with a stroke are eligible for Alteplase. Clotbusters have become a key part of the medical armoury to combat stroke in major centres, such as this one here in Salford. They're widely credited with preventing disability caused by damage to the brain. But they're not without risks, and the medication has to be used with great care.
I would say that that would be my feeling, that the balance of risks and benefits is towards it being the right thing to do to proceed with treatment, but accepting that I know there are some risks with that.
Some experts think the benefits may have been overstated.
If the data clearly showed benefit, you would expect it would have been seen by now. So why are we not seeing this data? And what are we going to do if there is a refusal for that data to be made public?
But other experts are standing by the treatment.
A stroke really can turn your world upside down. What Alteplase has done is to improve the long-term recovery outcomes for stroke patients.
In a statement, Boehringer Ingelheim, which holds the licence for Alteplase in Europe, said it was confident in its data, which it insisted was supported by the experience of clinicians. The debate has raised renewed concerns over drug research. The Chief Medical Officer has asked for an independent review looking at how to restore confidence. A separate regulator's inquiry on the evidence for Alteplase will report back by the end of the year. Adam Brimelow, BBC News.
Well, a bit earlier in that report you saw Dr. Roger Shinton, who's a former stroke specialist and been researching this drug. Morning to you. Thanks for coming to talk to us. We did see, and I know you saw the interview earlier with Alison, who was told she had a stroke. She had this drug and it seemed to have an amazing effect on her recovery. So there are conflicting views, aren't there?
There are conflicting views, that's certainly true. And I'm obviously very pleased that Alison did make a full recovery.
Yeah.
But quite a lot of patients that have strokes make a full recovery without the drug. And it is possible that that would have happened with Alison.
That doesn't seem to be their view, and they felt certainly that they were under significant pressure to make that decision. In fact, yeah. and one of the doctors involved said, well, if it was my call, this is what I would do.
Yes, but you'll remember there seemed to be some confusion about what the data were for her to make that decision. She said they overestimated the risks. So my point really is that the data is not as clear as it needs to be, and the doctors don't have all the data they need to make the right decisions.
So how would it be that the doctors would get the right data then? What needs to change?
Well, the main reason I wanted to raise this issue again, because I was involved in getting the first review done by the MHRA to get going. The main issue is that the data still has not been made fully available. You heard that Boehringer has confidence in its data, but I can tell you that my attempts and the attempts of other doctors to get hold of the full data set have been obstructed.
Now, is that unusual, or does that happen with a lot of different drugs that 100% of the research data is not out there.
There's certainly a big debate going on at the moment about access to full data sets from trials. And if you go back to the patient, the only way we'll really know if the patient benefited from the drug, or most patients benefit from the drug, is by doing proper clinical trials. Trials which put half of the patients on the drug and half not, and see who does best. And if the trial data isn't then made fully available, that leads to confusion.
And what was striking, talking to Les and Alison, was that here they are, they're in a very frightening situation where she's paralysed down one side, and they're told that there's a sort of time limit in which a certain drug can be given, and they're under pressure to make a decision. And obviously, families are not the people who know about these decisions, so it's putting people in difficult situations, isn't it?
I think so, and I think, who knows, but maybe the risks of the drug were overemphasised to this patient.
So it could be either way.
Because the doctors were worried about giving the drug themselves, and I certainly am aware that a lot of doctors are very concerned about the balance of benefit and risk with this particular treatment. And that is why we need all the information made available as quickly as possible. In fact, I have written to the Health Secretary asking him to help with this, and have, with my colleagues, also suggested that if this data is not made rapidly available, we should suspend the routine use of this drug until the situation is made completely clear, so that people like Alison and people like the man in your report can have confidence that we are doing the right thing.
All right, Dr. Shinton, thank you so very much. Thank you.
And as we mentioned earlier, the company that holds the licence for the drug in Europe, Alteplase, and they're called Boehringer Ingelheim, says it's confident in its data and that this is supported by the experience of medical professionals.